How and why group engage in conflict? Group communication researchers pay special attention to how conflict is created and managed through communication. While they recognize numerous causes for conflict, they focus on the variety of ways in which group members use manages to express conflict. Researchers' special interest lies in how people use manages to manage the causes of conflict, such as the scarcity of resources, difference between personalities, and difference between ideas, and even differences about how to handle differences. Researcher interest in group communication want to know how communication contributes to conflict. Consider how the belief of group members regarding conflict can later depending on their conflict handling habits. One member of group may prevent confrontation by avoiding it. When a person anticipates a disagreement, he or she will change the subject, become silent, or avoid eye contact. The person most likely believes that talking about a problem will just make things worse. As a result, discussing about conflict just draw attention to the things that can be altered according to this viewpoint. Example, personalities, scare, resources, habits. Another member of the group may use confrontation and persuasion to resolve conflict. When disagreement arises, this individual asks questions, challenge what others say, and generally speak out. What group communication researcher you know about conflict concentrates on the conflict between group members, the conflict style of individual group members, and the conflict management techniques that serve as a vehicle for resolving conflict. The result is a preference for studying conflict style of group member and how to make conflict productive by turning into cooperative decision making. The assumption is that conflict is an inherently bad thing that should be eliminated.
Conflict style and tactics. When confronted with a dispute, a person conflict style to their productivity to act in a certain way. In terms of how much worry a person has himself, again how much concern a person has for others, several style exists according to Robert Blake and Jane Moulton in 1964. Classic description of conflict style 5 times can be defined in this way: forcing, smoothing, retreating, and compose, and collaboration. Individuals are forced to compare in high level while competing a low level. Smoothing, on the other hand, is in the polar opposite because it includes little competition and a lot of cooperation, which is frequently seen as the optimum style and ties and high levels of competitiveness as well as a level of cooperation. Because this distinction assists people understand and adjust to how others engage in conflict. These 5 tiers are common in conflict management training literature. This is a widespread belief that there is no one best style but each style has virtues and weaknesses. Collaboration, for example, appears to the ideal option, but is style intensive, although it appears the compensative in negative because it leads conflict escalation is often necessary to move conflict ahead. The term tactics is good alternative to the style because it relates to specific conflict behavior when people deny a situation or make non-committal and irrelevant remarks. They are attempting to avoid conflict, that is, they are ignoring topics or worries that are essential to the members of the group. Avoidance techniques, such as the ones previously outlined, which discussed from competitive and collaborated tactics by Alan Sellars, 1980. Personal criticism, rejection, hostile jokes, and denial of responsibility are the example of competitive strategies. Tactics draw people into open confrontation and frequently, responsibly are example of competitive strategies. Competitive tactics draw people into open confrontation and frequently contribute to the escalation on conflict. Tactics help researchers see how conflicts de-escalate and de-escalate due to the types of message that are exchanged. In addition, tactics can be used to understand how message can be used to change the escalation of conflict. In the talk of a corporation, for example, if one group member uses personal criticism, hostile jokes, and other competitive tactics, another group member may use descriptive statement, concessions, and other collaborative tactics to make the discussion more productive.
Good day, ma'am and classmates. I am Janame V. Pulido, and the topic that I'll be going to discuss today is about the strategies for managing and improving public sector. So when we define strategy when it comes to the field of public administration, it is a concrete approach o yung matibay na foundation na need ng every organization sa field ng public administration. So those strategies are aligned, so interconnected sila sa isa't isa. So they are aligned sa aspirations and capabilities ng public administration or any other entities para ma-achieve nila yung isang certain goal to create a public value. So we have a lot of important considerations when it comes to applying some strategies in managing public sector, which includes, firstly, yung strategies ay yung need ng kahit anong context sa public administrations wherein yung aspiration tsaka yung capabilities, they should be aligned. So second, yung strategy in public administration is not it's not really necessarily or very often. So rather, yung main idea ng strategy sa public administration is that they should be related, yung entities through the strategies at yung pag-focus sa mga important goals nila to create a certain public value. So third and last is that yung strategy, nakafocus siya sa kung paano ma-achieve yung given context at yung mga needed na capabilities sa public administration. So the quality of strategy should be judged by the nature of aspirations, yung mga kakayahan ng mga members ng isang organization sa public administration, at kung paano nila ma-meet yung mga goals na dapat ay ma-achieve nila sa kanilang field. So, in other words, strategies can vary greatly in how well they are aligned dun sa aspirations and capabilities. So, an individual or kahit sino ay ma-identify yung broad types of strategies as an individual, as a team, or as an organization, or even in a collaboration. So, we have 4 broad types of strategies. The first one is the reactor. So, reactor is that ay yung member ng public organization or yung entity that does not really have a strategy. So, yung person na yon, meron siyang low aspiration and hindi siya fully dedicated, or yung goal niya or not focus on how to develop a high capabilities. So, yung reactor ay yung typical na follower lang siya. He or she is just waiting some instruction from the higher authority or yung higher position than her or than him before acting a certain duty on his field. So research has shown that these reactors have strategies that are unlikely pathway na maging isang effective na public servant or makapag-service sa public with not having a good performance and even na makapag-decrease ng performance nila. So the next one is the Dreamer. So Dreamer is a public organization or any other entity na meron siyang high aspiration but not having fully developed na capabilities na ma-meet nila yung aspiration. So the strategy is kinda unrealistic and yung goals nila is unlikely to be more na ma-achieve nila yun. So the next one is the underachiever. So sa underachiever naman, those are the entities that have low aspirations na wala talaga silang napopossess na skills with high capabilities. So they are not ambitious enough and unlikely to result the creation of substantial public value. So the last one or the final category for this type of strategies is the savvy strategies. So ayun yung entity with both high aspiration and meron siya, nagpo-possess siya ng nakapag-develop siya ng high capability sa mga skills na meron siya. So, ayun yung mga likely preferred na strategies sa field ng public administration at makapag-perform sila nung effective na alignment dun sa high aspiration at sa goal sa pag-achieve ng creation ng public value. So, ayun yung mga capabilities talaga na makakapagbigay ng enough na performance sa public service. That's all.
Good afternoon. My name is Maricar Bicasay. What exactly makes public sector strategizing strategic? Let me define you first the characteristic of public sector activities and planning strategies. First, the attention to context and to thinking about how to tailor the strategic approach to the context, even as the purposes of the effort typically is to change the context in some important ways. Second, thinking about purposes and goals, including attention to situational requirements like political, legal, administrative, ethical, environmental requirements. Third, a focus on strength, weaknesses, and opportunities and threats, and focus on competitive and collaborative advantage. Fourth is focus on thinking potential futures and making decisions in light of future consequences. Fifth, a clear realization that strategies are both deliberately set in advance and emergent in practice. In short, a desire to stabilize what should be stabilized while maintaining appropriate flexibility in terms of goals, policies, strategies, and process to manage complexity and advancing resilience and sustainability in the face of uncertain future. These characteristics should not be interpreted as some types of formula. Instead, they are elements of or principles to guide good strategizing. They also imply the good strategizing requires consider how this specific characteristic can be operationalized in specific contexts.
Managing organization, change and develop. The managing organization change is the process of planning and implementing change in the organization in such way as to minimize employee resistance and cause the organization while simultaneously maximizing the effective of the change journey. A change management plan can support a smooth transition and ensure your employees are guided through the change journey. The 6 effective organization change and develop management. First, clearly define the change and align it to goals. 2. Determine in fact those who are affected. 3. Develop the communication strategy. And 4. Provided effective training. 5. Implement a support structure. And 6. Measure the change process.
Advancing effective management in the public sector. Public organizations perform crucial function, and it is imperative that they perform them effectively. All of the previous chapter have in some way described possibilities for effective management of public organizations. These chapters cover some more summative approaches to the topic, including general issues about the performance of public organizations and reviews profiles of well-performing organizations in both the private and the public sectors. It then reviews some recent trends in management reform and the pursuit of high performance that have had important influences on the public management. Research on Effective Public Organization. Goals 1982 study of 10 successful organizations, 5 private and 5 public. Learning Day support learning, risk-taking, and work measurement. A focus mission, they emphasize clarifying and communication mission. A nurturing community, they provide a supportive culture. Enabling leadership, they facilitate learning, communication, flexibility, and developing a vision.
Position about effective public organization. Public agencies are more likely to perform effectively when there are high levels of following conditions: effective relationship with oversight authority, legislative, executive, judicial. Authorities are attentive, demanding, supportive, able to delegate. Sinasabi nandito ng legislative, ito po yung tagapagbatas. Then yung executive naman po, ito po yung tagapag-utos ng batas. Then ang judicial, ito po yung tagapag-gusga. Effective relation with other stakeholder. So dito naman pumapasok ay hindi pagkakaintindihan ng tao na may iba't ibang panayam. Favorable public opinion and general public support, multiple influential constituent and client group that can be mobilized, effective relations with partners and suppliers, effective management of contracting contractors, effective utilization of technology and other resources, effective negotiation of networks. Responsive autonomy in relation to political oversight and influence. Mission balance the attractiveness of the mission. Dito naman makikita natin na responsibilidad ng mga namumuno sa ating bayan. Difficult but feasible. Tinatawag na mahirap ngunit magagawa. Reasonable, clear, and understandable. Worthy, worthwhile, and legitimate. Interesting and exciting. Important and influential. And distinctive. Strong organizational culture linked to a mission.
Effective leadership. Stability of leadership. Multiplicity of leadership. A cadre of leaders, terms of leaders at multiple levels. Leadership. Commitment to mission. Effective goal setting in relation to task and mission accomplishment. Effective coping with political and administrative constraints. Effective task design. Intrinsically motivating tasks, interest, growth, responsibility, service, and mission accomplishment. Extrinsic rewards for task accomplishment. Pay, benefits, promotion, and working conditions. Effective development of human resources. Effective recruitment, selection, placement, training, and development. Values and preference among recruits and members that support task and mission motivation. High levels of professionalism among members. High levels of special knowledge and skills related to task and mission accomplishment. Commitment to task and missions accomplishment. high levels of public service professionalism, high levels of motivation among members, high levels of public service motivation among members, high levels of mission motivation among members, and high levels of task motivation among members.